What's going on? Welcome to MMBOB. This is Alix Baptiste, and
I'm Kewaan Draton.
We are two entrepreneurs. We here with a lot of game, just giving it to y'all about business, entrepreneurship. On the day, we're going to be talking about the things you don't know about entrepreneurship, the things that we found out about entrepreneurship when we got in.
Yeah, so pretty much today, what we wanted to focus on was the things that they don't tell you about entrepreneurship. Alix and I are both entrepreneurs here in town, and just, jumping off the porch, we've learned so much about entrepreneurship, and we just thought that it's very imperative for us to share this with y'all through the MMBOB Podcast. This was Alix's idea, so, we pretty much just going to give y'all some free game. I'm going to let Alix take it from here.
Okay, well, start off by letting y'all know who I am. Said in my name, Alix Baptiste. I have a business by the name of Touch of Black. I'm real big on black entrepreneurship and black business. I also make T-shirts and speak and things in that. Tell them a little bit what you do, Kewaan.
Yeah, so I'm an entrepreneur as well. I run a couple different businesses here in town. Red Eye Film Productions, the Savannah Underground. Also working on Mailbox Cafe at the moment. So we have a lot of different things that we're working on. And like I said, it's just very important that we just share this information with you guys, because Alix and I, we are both in our early stages of entrepreneurship, but we've learned so much over time. And it's just our job to just pass that information along to everybody who we come in contact with. So this podcast right here is going to help us reach the masses. And, we just hope that you guys learn a lot from it.
Facts. So one thing I always say, why I'm so passionate in the entrepreneurship, because when it deals with, going to school, becoming a basketball player, being in the military, working for somebody, these are things that we learn throughout school, from kindergarten up until graduation, even from college. Like, they tell us all about the math and the reading and language arts and science and other history, but when I look back and look at things, they don't have any classes to tell you nothing about entrepreneurship.
That's true.
That is just something you got to just either get out there on your own and just out of nowhere get to know what you need to know, but there aren't no classes for that. So that's why we're going to be doing that and telling y'all the things. So step one for me, something I figured out within entrepreneurship, is networking.
It's a powerful one, yeah.
We think money is everything, but man, networking can get you into doors that money can't get you into. And that's something I've learned, definitely. That's something real big and imperative within entrepreneurship.
Yeah, that's for sure. Networking is a major key. Like, if you don't have a lot of money, you have to be able to, get the courage, get the confidence to get up and go out and network with a large group of people. It doesn't matter if those people are black, people are white. You have to be able to get up and go out and make connections, because like Alix said, networking is going to be able to get you in those doors where money can't. And that's such a powerful thing, because you'll realize, networking will save you so much time when it comes down to entrepreneurship. Your time should be spent just as much time as you're spending strategizing about how you're going to make money. You want to be strategizing about how you're going to meet new people. Instead of focusing on how you're going to meet somebody that's not going to purchase from you, focus on how you can meet somebody who's already, 10 steps ahead of you, somebody that's already making $1 million a year and stuff like that. So that's just one of the things that you should really understand about entrepreneurship. Definitely.
What's something else you came up with?
For me, I say, like, one thing that I feel like a lot of people don't know starting in entrepreneurship is that you don't necessarily have to have a business plan to jump into a business or jump into entrepreneurship. A lot of people focus so much time on trying to put together an elaborate business plan, and that's, like, in a way, it's kind of counterintuitive, just because it's like, how are you going to put together a plan for something you don't really know about? You might not even be 100% sure if this is what you want to be doing. So the way, I plan is, I do try to have a sense of a plan or an idea of where I want to go. But when it comes down to it, you'll find that it's a lot easier to actually plan once you jumped off the porch and actually started doing it. Because it's a difference between planning for something that you haven't even done versus planning for something you've already been doing for 1 or 2 months. Once somebody buys something from you, it's like instantly you have real information that you can put in that plan, and your business plan is now built on something that you've actually done as opposed to something that you think. So that's one of the major tips that I have for a lot of people. You got to find that balance between planning and action, because if you stay in the planning phase too long, you will never really jump off the porch. But if you jump right into it and just don't plan, it's just like, okay, you're gonna have to work a lot harder, because you do have to keep the idea in your mind that you are going to plan. This is real information. So you really have to, just really figure out what it is that you want to do, take notes, so that way when you do focus on that big part of your business plan, that all that information is going to be real. And when somebody looks at it, you're going to be able to tell them why this information is factual to your business. Yeah,
definitely. I could agree with that. Especially with entrepreneurship, because we in our mind, we think we know what we want to do in life. Growing up, they be like, what you want to do? You want to grow up? And we swear we knew, ooh, a police officer or a teacher. And it's like, in life, you learn these things as levels go on. And I learned that with entrepreneurship. Right now, what I'm doing, if you would have asked me 5 years ago, man, I went from walking dogs to washing cars to cutting grass to delivering pack. I've done different things so I could be like, okay, cutting grass, man, it's too hot outside. I thought that I could do it because I was making good money, but it ain't really what I thought it was. So when I planned before I did it, it sounded so good. Yeah. $50 a yard. I'm going to get the lawnmower and I'm going to cut everybody grass on my street. Yeah. But then once I went to putting that into effect and trying to do it, I'm like, okay, hold on. Yeah. I done cut 2 yards, boy, it's time to go inside and get me some water. Yeah, so then I can move on to what I could take what I learned from that, regardless if it's promotion of telling people I could do it or getting comfortable knocking on doors, and use that in the next step of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. It's like every single thing you do is a part of that is always going to contribute to the next big goal. And I think a lot of people miss that when they feel like, I started this one venture, I started this first business, but it didn't work out, so they quit. But it's like, I guarantee you something that you learn in the process of that business failing is something that's going to contribute to your next bigger goal. And that's something we talk about all the time. It's like, there is no such thing as your business failing if you didn't take anything from that last venture that did fail, because obviously it's something that happened that you didn't properly, think about. And those are the things that's going to help you be a lot better in that next thing.
Definitely.
So you really have to, reevaluate the way you think of your business failing, because it's really no such thing as failing. It's a such thing as preparing you for the next opportunity. But if you don't let yourself get to that next step, you're not gonna even be able to put what you learned into effect. So
some of my best times was times that I failed. Yeah. It's all about perspective. At the end of the day, you could look at it like, okay, well, I didn't make money, but I tell people, it done been to some pop-up shops or certain things that I done been to where I made no money, but I got connected with somebody who, if I wasn't in that time, that place, I wouldn't have got connected to. Yeah. So it's just how you look at it. Did I fail, or did I really didn't fail? I didn't make money, or it wasn't expected how I wanted to go, but something came out of me being there. Yeah. So that's very important as well. And another thing I've learned is very important is surrounding yourself around entrepreneurs. Yeah. When you're an entrepreneur and you move on to that, and that's really what you want to do, it's hard to be hanging with people who can't even see entrepreneurship. Because it's like, okay, I can't really tell them my dream. And then when I do tell them where I want to be, they like, man, they so busy working 50, 60, 70 hours a week that they can't even fathom to hear what your dreams, what you think you can accomplish.
Exactly. Yeah, that is true. You definitely want to surround yourself around people who add value to you and people who can add value to your business. And I tell people that all the time. One big thing that, I prioritize is, if you actually want to see, some type of success or kind of want to maximize your network, you really got to go into these spaces and think, okay, I know if you're in the right space, you're going to know the people that's in that space that has the ability to help you. Now, the challenge for you as an entrepreneur is thinking, okay, now that I know that I want to make connections with these people, how can I add value to them? Because if you focus on how you can add value to them, that's already, putting you ahead of the game, because most people coming into those events thinking, okay, I need to meet this person because they can do this for me. I need to meet that person because, they might be able to help me get this loan, or this person can help me meet this person that's going to help me get this contract. That's not how you want to go into it, because all those things can already be worked out for you. But when you just change the way you have a conversation, as opposed to going into that conversation saying, hey, I was wondering if you could give me more information about, getting this bank loan. Nah, go in there and say, okay, my name is Alix, or my name is Kewaan. I have this product or this service, and I want to show you how this can make your business better. How Minding My Black-Owned Business can help you get into this space to help you market your business or your bank to other African American business owners who may not have the financial knowledge that they need to start a business account. So when you just change the way you have these conversations, you'll start seeing. Like I said, you'll start seeing that things will start working out for you a lot more because you've simply changed the perspective from me to like me adding value to them.
Yeah. Value is so important. Like it's crazy. Just the other day I was telling somebody how like within life when we go to the next level, we look back at the person who we saw within ourselves at the last level and we like, okay, hold on now, like I'm more valuable now. I can't be certain places that I was last year.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, last year it was cool for me to hang out with them people, be over there. But this year,
can you do that?
And that's with anything. If you look at people who you look up to, from athletes to whatever, people be like, oh, they moved, they got money, they left. It's not that, but they're at a certain level in life where it's like you have to bring value to me because I'm so valuable that. Exactly. If not, what's the point of being around you?
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like how we were just talking about changing the perception is like, okay, people gonna say, when you try to level up in entrepreneurship and in business, people gonna say, oh, you changed, you acting brand new, or people gonna say you acting white, you doing this, you doing that. Man, I don't care about none of that. It's like I'm doing what I gotta do to take myself to the next level. Either you gonna, following these footsteps, or you gonna do something that's gonna make me want to hang around you more, because that's kind of what I'm looking for. If you're gonna hold me back, or you just looking for handouts, because as you become an entrepreneur, those things become easily detectable. Like you can instantly determine after having a conversation with somebody if they gonna add value to your life, or if they gonna be a liability to what it is that you're trying to do. So I tell people all the time, it's like, I'm willing to help and give anybody the information that I learned, for free for anything. Like I'll have a conversation with anybody, but if I get the vibe from that person that they only want to have a conversation to figure out how they can, only better themselves, I don't really want to have a conversation with them, because at the end of the day, this information is for everybody, and the goal is for all of us to win. And if you don't want to win because you ain't got the manpower or the brain power, or, simply just the want or the desire to want to be successful in business, or just, as a person, I can't really, I can't bubble with you, because that's going to just slow you down.
Yeah. And I find it so crazy nowadays. And I guess it's just how the world go. One thing that I try to get into people is like, I watch the world and see how hard people go for their job and businesses that they're working for. Don't get me wrong. Nothing's wrong with working a job. I currently work a job. But I just find it so crazy how people don't work for a job 40, 50, 60 years, retired, blood, sweat, and tears, and they've never done that for themselves. Like,
exactly.
To me, that's just so crazy, because it's like, yeah, I work a job right now, but there's no way in life that I can give somebody else more time, more sweat, more passion, more all of that than I have ever put into myself.
Yeah, because time is the most valuable asset you got. But that kind of leads me to my next point, Alix, is that like you said, you actually are working a job right now. So kind of tell people who are actually working a job, like, instead of working that job, how do you maximize your time and make connections while you're on the job, as opposed to just going to work, doing your time, clocking out, and going home? Because at your jobs, you don't just work jobs. You work jobs where you're gonna have access to high value people who are doing things, who are making money, who gonna be able to spark something in you.
Definitely.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So it's funny you say that, because life hasn't always been like that. It's been times that I've worked jobs just because, and I can tell the difference in then and now, because the times that I just went to the warehouse because they were paying a lot, or the time that I went to this job because I liked what they did but they weren't paying a lot. Currently, right now, I'm at the West End, one of the probably biggest and known hotels in Savannah. And when I say I run into so many different people through different career paths, through different places, through like I running through so many, and it, like you said, it sparks me. I see people pulling up in Benzes all day, just getting out with no hesitation, tipping $20, $30. Like, excuse me, sir, what do you do? Here go one of my cars. I'm Alix Baptiste. Yeah, I'm gonna park your car, but this is what I got going on. Exactly. So it's so many, and I get paid good. So at the end of the day, I learned that it's nothing wrong with working the job, but it needs to go toward. It needs to, like you were saying, the word value. It needs to put value in you, some way, somehow, and make you want to put into yourself as well. It can't just be, oh, I'm working this job, I'm gonna work here till I die. No, because at the end of the day, let's just be real honest. Even though I like my job and it's a great job, if something happened to me today or tomorrow, they gonna hire somebody else to come work, and they might not even show up to my funeral. Exactly. And that's just how life is. They busy, they still gotta run what they got going on. Yeah. So I tell people like, yeah, I'm working, but I'm never forgetting a touch of black, Alix Baptiste, minding my black-owned business. Like that comes first, no matter what.
Oh, for real. That's what it is. I mean, that's a good point, man. So the next point I have for you guys when it comes down to entrepreneurship is, I think that this is just my opinion, I think that every business owner should learn all aspects of their business from top to bottom, left to right, unless you have somebody that you can 100% depend on. And most people don't have a partner that they can depend on 100%, but you have yourself. Mm-hmm. So it's like you either need to learn everything, every aspect of your business, because you don't want to put yourself in a position where you can't do something for your business in the fact that somebody pulls out. I'm not in that position because I am in business with my brother. So it's like we just have worked together long enough to the point where we know, all right, this is my responsibility. This is your responsibility. I'm gonna make sure that the technical and the cameras and all these different things work. But your responsibility is to go out and make sure we get the bills paid and all these different things and manage the money. And that's just a relationship that we have off rip. But a lot of people don't have that relationship, because a lot of people, and sometimes it's your family you can't even depend on or whatever. But it's like, if you know for a fact whether this person is blood, not blood, or whatever, a business partner, if you know that you can't depend on this person 100%, you better learn every single thing you possibly can, because you always want to be able to put yourself in a position to progress. Because if that person decide they want to go on and do something else, it's like, okay, you want to make sure you have a plan in place. Facts.
And it's crazy, even though, like you were saying, you have that. I would be willing to bet, even though you do have that, you still know certain things on that side that you don't do. You get what I'm saying? Like, for example, even though JT gonna take care of the this and that, that, guess what? JT might be sick next week. JT might go out. So if it comes down to it and I got to, even though I'm not good with the cameras, I still need to learn the cameras to some degree.
Yeah. You have to know how to work it. You have to know how to work it to some degree. I'm not gonna lie. Like, as much as JT knows I hate being behind the camera, I do know how to work it. I do know how to hit record. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how to edit like that, but I do have a plan in place. Like we say, this is when you have to plan. Definitely. Because it's like, even though I don't know, a lot about editing, JT has different people within our organization that I know that even though it's gonna cost me a little bit, I'm gonna have to pay this person for a couple hours of editing. And it's like, these are just the small things that you have to know. So it's like, even though I don't know everything about JT's responsibility, JT has put me like in a position where it's like he has different people in place that I can call on in the case that something does happen to him. So that's what I'm saying. You want to be working with people who are setting you up for success. For not just in a selfish way, but in a way where it's like, okay, if I'm out sick, we still got X, Y, and Z. If something happens to me, we still got, a couple different people that we can call on to say, okay, like, can you step in? Can you help us? And, that's valuable in itself. But those are things that come along the way.
Facts. And so that put me to my next point. Sometimes when we look at business and entrepreneurship, all we think about is the money. Like, we like, oh, I run my own business. I show up on time. I get all the money. And it's like, I'm sorry to let you know that the first beginning of that, whatever you want to look at your beginning as, if we want to go from year or 2 years or really 3 years, it take investing into yourself. Like the main part of people who you like, somebody I look into, I look at Eric Thomas, I look at Tyler Perry. You know how long they invested in themselves? Yeah. Like they was investing in themselves when nobody believed in them. Yeah. When people were booing them, when people was like, no, y'all got to come back next year. Like I was reading Tyler Perry biography. He spent so much money on his first couple of shows. Yeah. And nobody was there.
Exactly.
But he knew that within himself, and now look at him.
Exactly.
He like one of the most like when it comes to that side, African American man, just he don't gotta think about nothing. You know what I mean? True. People who got working for him.
Exactly.
But if we just worry about making the money, ooh, I sell a shirt, put the money in my pocket. Ooh, I record something, put the money in my pocket. You gonna be sitting there for so long, and you're not gonna be going nowhere.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When it comes down to this business stuff, man, it is hard. If you just come into it thinking you're gonna make money, you know, some people are lucky enough to jump into it and, you know, make money right away. But, you know, everybody's situation is different. Everybody's story is not going to be the same. You know, when it comes down to, you know, my situation and JT's situation, it's like, okay, you know, we still, you know, our businesses are sustaining themselves, but we still aren't making like an income for ourselves, because all the money that we have is consistently being reinvested into the business or being reinvested into the people that help us do what we do. And, you know, that's just a risk that you have to take. So if you coming into entrepreneurship thinking that, oh, I'm about to, you know, make money this fast, and, you know, that it might work that way for you. But for us, I'm just being honest and letting you know that it's going to be a lot harder than that. You know, you really have to, you know, buckle down and realize that every single dollar that you make is not your dollar. Like that's literally your business's dollar. And you and your business are two separate people. Your job is to feed the business. So if you make $1 from doing something, you're just the person that put that dollar towards the business. And if you don't do that and you put it into your pocket, watch how fast your business fell for real.
Or if it don't fail, you gonna learn from it. Because I tell you, for me, like, listen, at the beginning, man, I'm selling T-shirts. One thing I tell people, man, when I started my business, man, my business started from just within my own story. Only give you a little background. Started from really me to make money, and for me not to get into trouble, for me not to make poor decisions. Like, so I tell kids all the time, man, I make drug money off of T-shirts. So that much money coming in, it's hard not to spend it. Like, that's something very hard to do. Yeah. You know, so I learned from it, because when I first was coming in, man, we going out to eat. Yeah. We got all this money, and I got a job, and I'm doing, so it's like, okay, but then I'm learning, like, okay, Alex, guess what, man? You got to worry about promotion. You got to worry about buying more T-shirts. You got to worry about, okay, when the press machine break, dang, if you don't spend, like, you didn't think about these things, but I learned from it. So now I already know, okay, I got this account for this. I got to order this for this. I got to make sure this happen. And that's something that, like I say, I definitely learned within business.
Yeah, because business, it can be so, in the early stages, it can be so, like, volatile, meaning that, like, you know, it can fluctuate tremendously. Like, you know, you might have one busy season. You might get lucky and have, you know, a busy summer. But, you know, when the fall come, it might be a little bit slower. That's just the natural effect of running a business. Is you go have, you know, times when it's doing good, times when it's doing bad. But that's why when the good times are, you know, in play, you have to just make sure, okay, you know, if I'm making money here, best believe that almost 75% of everything that I make gonna go into, you know, business savings for that rainy day, because you know that fall coming. But if you play it right, you know, that fall might set you up to, you know, that fall time when, you know, it's a little bit slower, that might set you up to, you know, do something else that's gonna add value to your company. So it's like you always got to be thinking about the future of the business, but also the future of that dollar, because it's like, you know, that $1 that you make right now is what's gonna make you 5, what's gonna make you 10, what's gonna make you 50, what's gonna make you 100. So you really got to keep your finger on the pulse of all that if you want to be, you know, successful and learn a lot from this. And you know, so I would say that my last point right now is just gonna be letting people know that, you know, a lot of people think that you need a lot of money to start running a business. You in my opinion, again, you don't need a lot of money. You need like Alix said, you need to develop a network, and you need to know what it is that you want to do, and you just need to start doing it. I tell people all the time, don't focus on the big goal. Like, yeah, you know, you want to own your own warehouse, have shirts, have your own presses and all that. But the reality of it is, can you afford to do that at this current moment?
Facts.
If you can't, focus on what you can do. Like, I done saw Alix, you know, buy his own like, you know, machine and bring it with him and make shirts wherever he at. You know, so it's like, if you can do that right now, you know, he's focusing on what he can do today, tomorrow, next week. Alix can't come to me talking about man, I ain't starting no business till I'm able to get my warehouse. You know, because it's like, bruh, you know, how long is it gonna take you to get to get a warehouse, bro? Like, yeah, you can achieve that one day. I mean, maybe you'll hit the lottery tomorrow or something. You might just be able to go buy it. But right now, you got to do what you can. So, you know, you go buy the shirts, you make the shirts. So pretty much, like we say, you doing all aspects of it right now. And you can say, like, you know, you started with nothing. Now you have a little bit of money that you can invest in, continuing to do it. But that's the thing. Most of the time, people are trying to, you know, kind of force themselves to not take that step. And because it's easy to say, I ain't got the money, I ain't got the people, I ain't got, you know, these people to help me, I ain't got this person, that person. But no, that's just an excuse for you not wanting to, you know, get up and go do the work, because it's easier to say, I ain't got this because this costs this much, than it is to say, okay, you know, I got $15 right now, I can go buy a $3 shirt from Walmart, go buy me an iron this on right here, and go sell it to, you know, one of my family members for $20. Because once you got that $20, it's like, okay, keep doing that. Keep doing it. And if eventually, guess what? You know, after you know, 3 to 5 years of keep doing it, on top of, you know, increasing your business knowledge, saving your money, then it's like, okay, maybe you can't go get a warehouse, but guess what? Maybe you can get you a little office space, you know, and just keep doing that. You know, it's slow growth, man, because none of this gonna happen fast. And if it does happen fast, you should be very, very worried, because it's like you're not learning nothing. You know, because you can't, in this entrepreneurship stuff, you can't skip A and go to Z at all, because the whole point is to learn and to go through those struggles to prepare you for, you know, when you reach that point. So that when you reach that when you go from A to Z, you know, you can tell the story as to how, you know, you made that happen, the struggles that it's going to come with. Because you can't imagine you going to an event and saying like, okay, my name is Alix. You know, one day I started out with this small machine, and then one day I woke up and I was in the warehouse.
Yeah,
you know,
it ain't possible.
It ain't possible
at all. I tip, man, one thing I always tell this, people like, what's the hardest part of starting a business? Man, the hardest part of starting a business is to actually do it.
Yeah, to actually
that's
start.
That's the hardest part. When you were just saying A to Z, like, you can't start saying the alphabet without just starting out with A. Exactly. Like, it ain't, you could talk all day and be like, oh, I'm gonna do it. Wait, tomorrow I'm gonna learn some more. Man, A.
Exactly.
That's it. Like, that's how it is. So same thing with business. Like, everything, all I've learned, man, my hardest part was actually starting it. Yeah. And once you do that and start it, it might take, you might get to B, he might get to B tomorrow, I might get to B next week.
Exactly.
And guess what? It might switch up with C. With C, he might get the C in a week, I might get the C in a day. So, and that's with any and everything. Every level gonna go at different ways, but you just want to wake up and be the Z. And like you said, man, you gotta go through A and all of that to get there.
You gotta go through that struggle, man.
Facts.
But once again, y'all, we appreciate y'all tuning in. This is the MMBOB Podcast. I'd much rather say Minding My Black-Owned Business, but the MMBOB is, you know, kind of what flows, and we like it that way. So thank y'all for tuning in with us. Alix gonna give y'all a couple closing remarks, and we just hope y'all continue to tune in with us.
I love it, man. Y'all definitely check us out on social medias. Like he was just saying, we starting things. Everything might not, it's gonna be bigger and better as time go on, but this is the start of it. This is the first episode. Check us out on YouTube, MMBOB 912, Instagram, same thing, MMBOB 912, and within the next 2 or 3 episodes, we'll have a Tic Toc going for y'all. We enjoyed this with y'all.
And also, if you guys need a podcast, you can tune in. You can go to redeyefilmproductions.com. We offer podcast assistance from literally every single step of the process, from recording to audio to video. We do it all. We post that stuff in here. But once again, thank y'all for tuning in. MMBOB.